It seems like it's made for good, like every single thing else nowadays. It seems like it's made to be virtuous and caring and empathetic, but in reality, it's just a brainwashing tactic to trick us to just keep fighting with each other.
Subscribe to this channel in case you are watching this channel and you have not subscribed.
This Halloween, I was thinking about putting a big slice of ham over my body and cutting it out to look like a ghost, and then I would be a gabagool. That would be fine because I'm of Italian extraction. That would not be cultural appropriation. But
Got it.
beware, because the forces of wokeness are out there to call you a racist if you pick the wrong costume. So we've got instructions for white people on what they're supposed to do for Halloween. This video is brought to you by Genucel. Right now, go to genucel.com/KnowlesYT. TikTokers, take it away.
For Halloween, make sure your costume isn't racist. That means, of course, no blackface.
Oh, right, yeah, of course.
No using accents that are from people of color and Black and Indigenous communities.
That's stupid.
No taping your eyes back. No wearing of Indigenous spiritual and cultural wear. So, those are some guidelines for costumes.
Put a pause there. The thing
Who the
is,
fuck
if
is
you
this
dress
bitch?
up like a demon
Or
a
him,
devil
or who the
something
fuck it
like
was.
that, you would be wearing indigenous spiritual wear, because a lot of these indigenous tribes just worship demons. So that one's going to be hard. Though I don't really get into all that stuff. I don't want to dress up like a devil on Halloween. Still, a lot of people do that. And if you do, you would be culturally appropriative, according to this person.
This white devil thing has gone far enough.
But also, just don't be racist for the rest of the year either.
Don't be racist. Racism's the worst thing. Nothing is worse than racism. If you do anything bad, you're racist. The word racist, of course, means nothing, though. If wearing a fun little Halloween costume, if wearing a sombrero on Halloween makes you a racist, then racism doesn't mean anything other than anything a white person does that a non-white person wants to object to.
I think cultural appropriation, just period, is racist as fuck. It's literally like you can't. It's like you're not supposed to be able to try to learn or try to embrace or support or I don't know, like you're not able to do any of those things about someone else's culture, which is like it's like I don't see how the fuck that just doesn't seem backwards at all. I would assume that people would feel proud that people want to embrace their culture instead of trying to, gatekeep it and say, oh no, this is not for you. You are not the right skin color and you are not the right. That is racist as fuck. But you are literally telling someone that they can't do anything because of their skin color. That is literally racist. It is segregation mentally. It's so fucking stupid to me how people are actually on board with that shit. It's been going on for so long and no one's wise enough to be like, wait, that doesn't make sense. That's it's like, I don't know.
That's all it is. It's even the very term racism is just a way to tell white people to shut up and to say that all white people are bad. That's basically all it's about. That's especially true on Halloween. Next one.
My monster from his slab began
70
to
days.
rise, and suddenly, to my surprise,
You can't wait like 40 more days or something. That would have been better. 1 month away. Like, why 70 days is like such a stretch, man. Who is even thinking about Halloween 70 days in advance?
he did the monster
Put a pause there. I'm a married man, okay? Okay? When I was a young single man, I would have found that costume very fun. Not to wear, but for my female friends to wear. That would have been... I don't see very much wrong with that costume other than that it's immodest.
It caught on in a flash. He did the mash. He did the monster.
Obviously no blackface costumes.
I think the blackface ones are the ones that I'm on board with. On like, I don't know. I don't know why. Maybe it's just like some stigma in my head that I think that is wrong. Maybe it's just because I was brought up thinking that. There's just also all the references of all the older movies where white people would dress or paint their face black and be extremely rude and racist, and I think that is where it kind of like stems from. Like, I mean, look at The Birth of a Nation. It was like the start. It was like a propaganda film in the early days of filmmaking that pretty much revolted the KKK, and that's what they did. They just painted white people black and then made them, rapists and shit, or murderers or whatever. I never watched it, but I've seen bits and pieces of it, of how they portray black people. So I think that's why that shit is too far. But bro, dressing up as an Indian and in an Indian costume, I don't see how the fuck that's offensive unless you are doing something offensive. Like if you're just dressing up like that because you think it's like a fun looking costume, or maybe you are really into Indians or fucking cowboys or Buddhas or whatever. Like maybe you're really into that shit and that's why you want to do it. Like I think that's all good and fun. But if you go out your way and do some racist shit while wearing it, then yeah, then you're racist. But just because someone puts on a costume of someone else's culture should not make them racist.
I'll probably get in trouble for asking this. Why not? Why not? Why is that? That's obviously the one you. Why not?
Is that blackface, dude?
Get the out, man.
One time, I was in LA. I was in an Uber, and I could tell that the driver, who was a black guy, was conservative. And there was one of these blackface scandals that cropped up. And I said, what do you think about that? And he said, oh man, I don't care about blackface. He said, as long as it's in good fun, you know, it's just part of the fun of things. Which
That
is
is exactly what I just said. Well, not about the blackface, but the other costumes. I think, like I said, with the blackface, it's got so much history behind it on why it's wrong. I don't know. Maybe I'm being soft, and maybe it really. I mean, technically, to be 100% honest, it really shouldn't matter. Like, unless you're doing something racist. But I just think that's one you probably just shouldn't do. I don't know. Let me know what y'all think about that. Maybe I'm just playing the fence a little bit too much.
such an insightful observation. If you're wearing a culturally appropriative costume because you hate some other race and you want to mock them and insult them and you just want to be cruel to them, then I guess that's a bad thing. But if you're just wearing the costume of another culture and it's kind of fun and celebratory, who cares?
Me and him are on the same wavelength right now.
Sure, I'll be canceled for that, but what can I say?
Who cares?
It's the way I see it. It's no secret that here at the Daily Wire, we all love, speaking of our faces.
I mean, he wasn't even really being like demanding or anything. He was really kind of just asking a question, like why not? Like, I think that's fair. It's not, you're not evil for being ignorant. Like that's how people learn, is by asking questions. It's just exactly what I do with my channel. Is I want y'all to tell me why I might be wrong, or why or I don't know, agree with me. I don't really know where I was going with that. But at least tell me like why I might be wrong, or maybe something that I wasn't considering. But you just can't do that shit nowadays. You have to know everything, or you need to keep your mouth shut, which is like, what the fuck? The world just wants people to be stupid, and it's obvious, but it's like, how are people so dumb to just follow?
Keep going.
Now, before you go planning your Halloween costume, it's time to educate and activate. And today we are talking about cultural appropriation. This is the unacknowledged or inappropriate adoption of customs, practices, or ideas of one cultural group by members of another cultural group, usually a more dominant cultural group. And
shouldn't this be considered racist too? A white lady trying to tell people what they can't wear? Like, how is that not? Well, like it's because she's being virtuous, and she like, no, you're fucking. Dude, you're wrong as fuck. Honestly, you should not even feel comfortable talking about this subject.
Not to be confused.
Because you're on that side, you know, I'm on the other side, so I could give a damn if someone fucking doesn't like whatever I say. But you're literally doing this shit to seem like you are not a racist white person, whenever you're probably gonna say something that makes you inherently racist anyways, or you probably think you're inherently racist because that's what is like the mindset of the liberals nowadays.
Used with true cultural exchange, which is typically gifted from the non-dominant cultural group. The flows of power are recognize the systemic erasure of certain cultural homes and forced into boarding schools, where they are forced to attend when they don mass-produced headdresses from minstrel shows to namaste in bed shirts. Remember, culture is not a costume, so go have a fun, safe, and respectful Halloween.
Culture is not a costume. I wonder what this lady thinks of Caitlyn Jenner. I want to keep this video on social media, so I'm just going to leave that question here. If you say culture is not a costume, my identity is not your costume, I wonder what this lady thinks about that. Next one.
Inappropriate Halloween costume, check. This just feels wrong.
Why?
Culture's not a costume,
Culture's
dumbass.
not a costume. Okay. Culture's not a costume.
So fucking annoying how just people like, there's like, They just do whatever for likes and views, or they it's so fucking annoying to me. If someone is on the opposite side that's still watching the video, please explain to me how embracing someone's culture, or, you know, appreciating it enough to where you choose a costume of it, is wrong. Please explain to me how that's fucking wrong. Like, if anything, you should feel happy that, like I said earlier, you should feel happy someone likes your culture that much that they would dress up as it on a day that you dress up as something that you like, or something scary. But usually it's either or. But you ain't dressing up as an Indian because you want to be fucking scary. You're dressing up because you like the way it looks.
Know that these people deny that white people have any kind of culture whatsoever, but we have the dominant culture in the West, obviously. So would the principle hold for a non-white person to wear, I don't know, a leprechaun outfit, you know, something associated with the Irish, or to dress up like Mario and Luigi? Would that be cultural appropriation? What if a black kid put on a three-corner hat and said that he was George Washington crossing the Delaware? Would that be evil? Would that be terrible?
No, it wouldn't. And he could paint his face white and it would be perfectly fine. It's like the whole stick of the costume and culture appropriation is just towards white people. Any other culture, any other race can go along and do whatever the fuck they want. But white people, no. You gotta go along with only your skin color, because you should not be considered a human. You are a white colonizer, racist, supremacist, fucking blah blah blah, da, 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 blah, blah. Like, it's just fucking. That's the only thing that annoys the fuck out. Well, it's not even if it was allowed, even if it was targeted towards every race and every culture, it would still annoy the fuck out of me. It's because it's like, what the fuck are we doing? We should be all like, we're humans, right? That's the whole point of human rights. That's like what we've been fighting for this whole time in America. And we finally got to the part to where everyone is pretty much considered equal. Yeah, there's still some bad people out there that are still ignorant and racist or whatever, but we're all allowed the same rights. And now it's like, nope, gotta take the shit from the whites. They did it to us, so we gotta do it back to them. It's two wrongs make a right. You ain't ever heard that?
Does it only ever go in one direction for one group of people that aren't allowed to do anything?
ACAB, 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 ACAB.
Is the woman having a stroke? ACAB?
What the fuck is she?
Blackfacing? Try dying.
Try dying. Wow. If you
can't, I'm almost positive white people can grow a black afro naturally. I might be wrong, but I think aren't like the Jewish kind of have that type of hair texture, and then they can also have really dark hair. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think that I'm sure that there has to be at least one white person with a fucking afro.
Dress up in a way that she doesn't like, she wants you dead. And then she said, ACAB, ACAB. Is that's an anti-cop thing? All cops are bad.
Oh, man. You can't even dress up as a cop anymore. What?
That's one of the famous final utterances of people before they're attacked by criminals in cities where the cops have been told not to do their jobs. She seems to have a lot of issues. She doesn't need to worry about the costume, the facade. She needs to worry about what's going on inside. The most enlightening of these videos, I'm going to have to say, was not this one. What was the one before this? I got a kick out of her. I would say hers. The woman in the low-cut yellow hoodie.
Feminist.
Hers was the most enlightening for me because it lulled me to sleep. And so I got a couple of minutes of peace and quiet in my day where I didn't have to be consciously aware. And so for that reason, she gets the award. We all got that little award. Nice little break. See you next time.
Yeah, bro, I don't know. Let me know what y'all think about that. I personally think that it seems like it's made for good, like every single thing else nowadays. It seems like it's made to be virtuous and caring and empathetic, but in reality it's just a fucking brainwashing tactic to trick us to just keep fighting with each other. I mean, if anything, we should be proud that we got so far on minorities getting so many rights that they are now attacking white people, because that is what they've always fought for. Now we need the pendulum to swing back just a little bit, not all the way, definitely not all the way, just a little bit, to where we can all live in harmony and love each other and just be humans without focusing on fucking skin color. Like, that's really the ideal world that I want to live in. I know it'll never happen in my time, but I will still fight for that shit. Not for my kids, because I know it's not gonna happen for them or my great grandkids or whatever. But one of my fucking children, a lot down the lineage, that is the people that I'm fucking fighting for. Whenever, it probably won't even ever happen. It'll just be whenever we're all the same color. So in a couple hundred, in like 1,000 years, or I don't know how long. I've seen a stat somewhere saying that we'll all be pretty much light skinned in like 1,000 years or whatever. But around that time is when racism will die, and then who knows? Hopefully we'll be fucking sophisticated and, you know, mature enough to where we aren't just at each other's throats and we're actually trying to do something with the world. But as of right now, we're in constant divide and it's not looking good. Definitely not looking good. But anyways, let me know what y'all thought about that video. Please leave a like. If you guys got anything to say about the video, let me know down below. You know, I'll read every single comment. And if you fuck with your boy, would you please give me a subscription? With that said, deuces.
Influence only got one life, fucked up or not, I ain't gonna lose it, I'ma use it. So please don't go stupid, I don't wanna do it. I never claimed to be a killer unless they push me to it. Nina on me, so my life got extra cushion on it. So tell them I'ma pull it out if they come pushing on me. I can't even get my money and get out the way, 'cause broke